Welcome back to the Mountain Takes. I'm Isaac. Guides exist for a reason. They exist because mountains kill people who don't listen. Today we're looking at two guides who tried everything to keep their clients alive. Everything. And two clients who refused to hear a single word. This is what that refusal costs. Sit tight, because now I'm going to explain what actually happened. It was May 16, 2019, at Camp 4 on Everest at 26,000 feet. Victoria Ashford, 44, a venture capitalist from New York, had paid $110,000 for this expedition. Her guide was Pemba Sherpa, 38, with 16 years of high-altitude experience and 9 Everest summits. Victoria believed money entitled her to make all decisions. Pemba understood money bought her an experienced guide, nothing more. By Camp 2, Victoria wanted to climb faster than safe protocols allowed. She wanted to skip acclimatization days. Pemba had documented every recommendation to slow down. Victoria had rejected every one. By Camp 3, her oxygen saturation was 62%, dangerously low. Pemba recommended descending. Victoria said she had a board meeting in 2 weeks and would not turn back. At Camp 4, the weather forecast was marginal. Pemba recommended waiting another day for a better window. Victoria said they were going tonight. Pemba said the risk was too high. Victoria told him she was paying for guidance, not his fears. They left Camp 4 at 11:45 p.m. on May 16th. By 2 a.m., they were at 27,200 meters. The weather had changed. Wind was increasing. Clouds were moving in from the south. Pemba checked his satellite forecast. The window had collapsed. A storm was moving in faster than predicted. He told Victoria they needed to descend immediately. Victoria said they were too close to summit. Pemba said the summit was 1,800 meters above them. They couldn't reach it before the storm arrived. Victoria said she would summit even if she climbed alone. Do you understand what Pemba was facing? A client who understood the danger and chose to ignore it anyway. They reached 27,600 meters at 4:30 a.m. The storm had arrived early. Wind was gusting above 60 kilometers per hour. Visibility was less than 10 meters. Pemba's face was numb. Victoria's hands were frozen solid. Pemba told Victoria they were turning around. Victoria said she could see the summit. She was hallucinating. Pemba physically grabbed her harness and tried to turn her around. Victoria resisted. Pemba had to drag her downward by force. The descent from 27,600 meters in a whiteout with a client who was hallucinating was the most dangerous situation Pemba had faced. They moved slowly. The wind pushed them both toward exposed edges. At 6 a.m., Victoria collapsed. Pemba tried to help her up. She was unconscious. Pemba tried calling for help on his radio. Too much static. He realized if both of them stayed, both would die. He left Victoria at 27,400 meters at 6:45 a.m. on May 17th. Pemba descended to Camp 4 by 10:30 a.m. with severe frostbite on both hands and feet. A rescue attempt was organized, but by the time rescue climbers reached 27,000 meters, the storm had worsened. They found Victoria unconscious at 27,200 meters. She was already deceased. Pemba had begged her to descend 7 times. She had refused. Victoria died because she refused to listen to the one person whose entire job was keeping her alive. Pemba survived with frostbite damage, but never guided again. It was July 8, 2020, at Camp 3 on K2 at 7,400 meters. Rachel Morgan, 41, a pharmaceutical executive from Boston, had paid $135,000 for this expedition. Her guide was Dorje Sherpa, 35, with 16 years of experience and 5 K2 summits. Rachel had told her company she would return in 9 days with a summit video. Rachel had told her followers she was unstoppable. These commitments were driving her decisions at altitude. Rachel had arrived at base camp on June 20th with a film crew. She was climbing Everest and K2 in the same season without supplemental oxygen, designed to generate content for her personal brand. Dorje had explained that combining 2 8,000ers without oxygen was extraordinarily dangerous. Rachel had responded that her body was stronger than most people's. Dorje had documented his concerns. Rachel had refused. By Camp 2, her acclimatization was poor. Her oxygen saturation was 61%, alarmingly low. Dorje recommended descending and attempting K2 the following year. Rachel said she had media commitments. Dorje documented his recommendation. Rachel refused. By Camp 3, she was coughing constantly, a sign of pulmonary edema, fluid building in her lungs. Dorje recognized the symptoms immediately. Without descent, it would become fatal within 24 hours. On July 8th, a brief weather window opened. Rachel insisted on summit that night. Dorje said she was too sick. Rachel said she felt fine, that the cough was just dry air irritation. Dorje said pulmonary edema was not an irritation, it was a medical emergency. Rachel said she was the only one who understood her body. Dorje said at 7,400 meters, all bodies responded the same way. They broke down. Rachel told him to prepare for summit, or she would file a complaint about his performance. They left Camp 3 at 10 p.m. on July 8th. Rachel was moving slowly. Her breathing was labored. With each step, she coughed. Wet, productive coughs indicating fluid in her lungs. By 2 a.m. on July 9th, they were at 7,800 meters. Rachel's movements were becoming uncoordinated. Her speech was slurring. She was experiencing confusion. Her brain was being damaged by extreme altitude and severe hypoxia. Dorje told Rachel they were turning around immediately. He told her that if they continued, she would die. Rachel said she had promised her followers she would summit. Do you see the pattern? A guide begging, a client refusing, a mountain waiting. They climbed together through July 9th. Rachel's condition deteriorated with each 100 meters. By dawn, she was at 8,200 meters. Dorje checked her oxygen saturation, 38%. Critical. Dorje forced her to descend. Rachel was too weak to resist. She was compliant but confused, moving mechanically without awareness. They were descending through the Bottleneck, a narrow gully between 7,600 and 8,000 meters, where massive seracs hang above the route. Seracs become unstable as the sun warms them. Dorje knew this. He was moving fast, supporting Rachel's full weight as they descended. At 2:30 p.m. on July 9th, a serac above them fractured. The ice block fell directly above them. Dorje heard the sound and looked up. He saw the falling ice. He tried to pull Rachel out of the fall zone. He wasn't fast enough. The impact struck both of them. Dorje was hit across his left side and back, ribs fractured, left arm crushed. Rachel was struck on the head. She died immediately. Severe head trauma. Dorje remained unconscious with severe injuries for 4 hours. He died at 6:45 p.m. without ever regaining consciousness. Dorje's body was left on K2. Rachel's body was recovered by a separate expedition. The investigation concluded Rachel had pushed too high despite severe pulmonary edema. She had refused to descend despite clear medical warnings. And a guide with 16 years of experience died because he refused to abandon her.